right, so make sure your notes are set up. We're going to be solving proportions today. Okay, vocabulary. Let's start with what a proportion actually is before we get to solving them, okay? So a proportion is an equation that states that two ratios are equal. And I talked to the last class, and they actually have already learned how to do these. You just might not know that they're actually called this. And the method that we use for solving these is we use the cross product, otherwise known as the butterfly method. Okay? Okay. So we're going to use the cross product or the butterfly method, okay? So we're going to be comparing two ratios and deciding whether or not they are proportional. And they are proportional if they're equal to each other, okay? So let's take a look at an example. I'm not going to take quite as much time as I did in the last class because I realized pretty quick that they already knew this, all of this. So you get the more streamlined version of this. Okay, proportional. So what's going to happen on your homework and just deciding whether two proportions are, or two ratios are proportional, you're going to take two ratios. So let's say that we have 7/12 and 21/36. Okay. I'm going to show you how to use the cross product or the butterfly method here. But let's just take a look at those for a second. Do you think those are proportional? And how do you know? Go ahead, Chris. So if you scale it up by 3, so you multiply the top and the bottom by 3 here, yeah, awesome. You guys already have great tools that you can use to see if things are proportional. Now let's apply the cross product or butterfly method to this so that we can actually verify. This is just a really quick way because not everything will be so straightforward as this one is. This is just a quick and easy way to see if they're proportional, okay? So if you didn't learn this last year, just pay close attention. We're going to multiply diagonally. And when we do this, our picture kind of ends up looking like a butterfly. Okay? So what we're saying here is if we multiply 7 and 36, and then we multiply 12 and 21, if they're the same, then these would be considered proportional. Okay? All right. So 7 times 36, I get 252. Okay? 12 times 21, I also get 252. So since the cross products were equal to each other, we can say that yes, this is proportional. So our answer here is yes. Okay. Now let's take a look at another example. Okay, so here's two ratios. Let's see if they're proportional. So I'm going to set them equal to each other. And I'm going to cross multiply. Okay. So 8 times 3 is 24. 15 times 2 is 30. Okay. So since the cross products are not equal, we can say that these are not proportional. So no, this is not proportional. Okay, I'm going to have you practice a couple. All right, try those two problems.
Can we use our calculators for this?
Yes, you can use your calculator.
I eat donut with the bottom paper thing still on.
Sorry guys. What about that first one? Is it proportional? Yes. Could you tell just by looking at it? Yeah, because you would scale up, right? There, multiply it by 2. Okay. What about this bottom one here? Was that proportional?
No.
Okay, let's check that one out. Okay, so if I cross multiply here, let me check it out with my calculator. So 36 times 61. And then 25 times 90. And yeah, I would agree, those are not equal, so we would say no on this one. So no, and this one was a yes. All right, flip your pages. Well, if you have room, you can keep going, but I'm gonna flip my page over. Okay, so let's take this to the next level. We're actually going to solve proportions now. And that's when you have part of a ratio that's missing. So for example, you have x over 6 is equal to 35 over 14. Now because it's already set equal to each other, you know this is proportional, so now you need to find the value for x that makes that true, okay? Wait for it. And if you remember from last time here, or from last year when you learned this, okay, we multiply diagonally, or that would be considered cross multiplying. So cross multiply. And then you're going to divide by the number that you didn't use before. So if you multiply diagonally like this, then you'll divide by that number that's left out. Okay. So we're going to divide by, we'll call it the extra number. And what's going to happen is you're going to get really fast at just plugging these things into a calculator and moving on, which is what I want. I don't want this to be a burdensome method for solving. Okay, so let's take a look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply diagonally and divide by the number that is left out. And I get that x is equal to 15. Everyone agree on that? Great. So I did 6 times 35, so I multiplied diagonally. And then I divided by the number that's left out. So it'll be 6 times 35 and then divided by 14. Okay. All right, let's take a look at another example here, because your missing number is not always going to be in that top left corner. And it really doesn't matter where the missing number is, as long as you always multiply diagonally and divide by that left out number. Okay, so now it's over here on the right side, but I'm still going to multiply diagonally and divide by that left out number. So this is going to be 9 times 10 is 90, divided by 6, and again I get 15, so C is 15 as well. Okay. Okay, thumb pull. How many of you are like, I got this, I'm good to go? Thumbs to the side if you just need a little, think you need more practice. Thumbs down if you're like, you lost me, lady. All right. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple to practice. All right, try those 4 problems. Would sitting next to Jordan be a little bit better? Because there's an open spot right there. Jordan, red hair. She's got like a pink shirt on with flowers on it. There's a seat next to her that's open. Do you think that'd be a little bit better? Okay, so why don't you move there, and then when you get your new glasses, you can move back to your other seat. Sound good? Awesome. right, let's check this out. Did you guys get 21 for number 1?
Yeah.
Fabulous, okay. 14 for 2? Awesome. Okay. 42 for 3? Great. And then 4 times 21 divided by 6. 14 for 4? Great. Okay, I have one more example to show you real quick because you're going to see something like this on your homework. I want to make sure you're good. Okay. Sometimes you're going to be given a little table, and you have to see if that table represents a proportional relationship. So let me show you an example. I'm going to freehand this, so it is not going to be pretty. So let's say that we have blue and red. And you have paint number 1 and paint number 2, 6 ounces, 20, 15, and X. Okay, well, when you're given a table like this, you don't even need to take the data out of the table if you don't want to. You can just cross multiply and divide. But if you want, you can rewrite this data off to the side and keep the ratios in the exact same position. So this will be 6 over 15 is equal to 20 over X. Okay? So notice that I kept it all in the same order. It's just so much easier that way. But you don't even need to pull it out of the table if you don't want to. You can just cross multiply and divide. Okay? So when I do that, 15 times 20 divided by 6, I get that X is equal to 50. Not too bad, right? All right, I'm going to give you the rest of the period to work on your homework. So get her done.